Well, good evening, everybody. It's a bit of a smaller panel tonight, isn't it? Only 4 of us. It'll be quite cozy. But other people can come in if they want to come in. Tell you what, though, isn't it bitter in the UK at the moment? I mean, seriously, you know, we had all that rain, and now it's dry. The wind bites, really bites.
Oh, we've had like a monsoon today. It's been from sunny to like what feels like gale force 5, 10 or something, and then rain, and then it's sunny again. It's mad.
Absolutely mad. Absolutely mad. Well, anyway, so tonight's discussion is negativity in the scale modeling community. Not necessarily builds, whatever, you know, just general, really. Just talking about some of the negativity that we see online. This isn't a bitch fest, so we're just going to talk about, you know, the best ways of dealing with it. You know, one of the things I find is I see it a little bit more in groups. People put up a model and they just say, this is my build of say a Spitfire, and they get it critiqued. They didn't ask for critique. They just said, here's my model. And you don't know if that person's a beginner, intermediate, advanced. Well, he wouldn't be advanced, but you know, you don't. And sometimes I've seen models come up, and in my mind, I'm thinking, he's done an average job on that. He's doing an all right job on that with the old airbrush, and in fact, he's painted it with enamel. So, do you see that a lot more in the community, where people are a bit more dismissive of people's efforts? On, you know, in the forums, in the community, you know, we get our own negativity, don't we? As YouTubers, we get our own negativity from people. Oh, don't bite your nails. You know, is that a ghost behind you? Is that an orb? You know, But other than that, you know, I just see a little bit more of it. Is it that kind of way? Is it, you know, are we getting to a place now where people feel it's right to critique others' work in a negative light? What about you, James? What do you think?
Well, I think a lot of it's clickbait.
Oh,
because obviously people like a rant video. It seems to get loads of views on here, and it's very
yeah. I get that. What about you, Alex? You get much negativity? Do you see a lot of it around on the forums and stuff that you visit?
I don't see a lot, but what I would say is what you get. There's always the asshole, right? I had a couple, well, one particularly recently on the channel. You get them making some usually oblique comment, not directly like, you know, negative. So on the what is the best model company in the world video I did, somebody just put, you know, what was it? Airfix in the top 3. It's just like, I know you Brits have a hard on for Airfix, but that's ridiculous kind of thing. It's like, okay, he's not making a point. He hasn't said why. It's just this vague negativity. And you question that.
Yeah.
And they never come back with data. They never come back, well, you know, X, Y, and Z, or Airfix of this, or I think that Revell of that, or whatever. It's always just, I think this guy was like, there are people on forums like laughing at this. And it's like, right, okay, well, why? You know, give me something to work with. But they never can, because that's not what they're about. They're about the rub, you know, and negative. And you don't get much of it, but it's always those persistent little ones, like it's like a thorn in your shoe or something.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, it's only a little thing, but it's there all the time, just needling. And they always try to, when they can never show anything, and when you get some facts and data against them, they'll always go to like, well, you're being aggressive, or you know, they always try to push it back.
Right. Arguing the person instead of the point.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, we're YouTubers. We have put our stuff out there. You have to have a thick skin. You get that. 99.9% of the feedback and the community out there, like everybody in the chat today, you know, they're fantastic people. I've never met such a wide and enthusiastic group of modelers. I've met more modelers since I've been doing YouTube, both online and in person, than ever before. And to a man or woman, they're great. It's been fantastic. And it's only that tiny, tiny little grain of salt. But that's the population, right? But if you talk about any subject, it doesn't matter politics or whatever. We're quite blessed, I think. If you talk about politics, it's a much higher percentage, I think. But there's always going to be a negative portion of the population. I think we're quite lucky that it's not too much, but they do tend to be quite vocal. I think they speak above their volume, if you like.
I think, like I said, it's like the other day, somebody wrote up and said, I'm looking. He come on the. I think it was on the Scale Model Club, the one that I run with about 4 or 5 others, and I think somebody wrote up there saying something like, "I'm new to, I want to buy an airbrush. Which one do you recommend? I'm new. I'm new. I want to buy an airbrush. I'm new to it. What do you recommend?" And 2 of the comments was, "Oh, you want to just learn with learn with the hand, with a brush first." Dismiss the fact of maybe he's gone past that and he wants to actually get involved with an airbrush. They kind of dismissed it offhand as though you want to practice with a heavy stick, basically. And I felt that was a little bit uncalled for. I've had one, and somebody asked a comment once and said, "Oh, I'm looking at this Spar Max, and I said, "Well, I use Harder and Steenbeck Infinity. You might be, if you want to go down that Spar Max route, why don't you try the cheaper version of Harder and Steenbeck?" And I got a guy come back and he was really rude at me, saying, "Look, the guy didn't want to know your recommendations of airbrush. He was asking what people thought of this Spar Max." And I was like, "Oh, fuck off." You know what I mean? I was really livid. I was like, he was asking what they like, and I said, "Well, not, if you really want to go for a brush you can get parts for, why don't you go down the Infinity or a brand?" I always say people go for cheap. And I say you can go for cheap, but what you want to make sure is you can get the parts for it, and if it's got PTFE seals. I think that's the criteria for an airbrush for a beginner. But I just felt, I was getting critiqued by giving my response, But I just was, it just seems to be a lot of it at the moment I've seen. That there isn't much of, the positivity's kind of gone, and how do you combat that? How about you, Nigel? Do you see a lot of negativity on the forums, or do you not much?
Oh yeah,
Nigel seeks it out.
All of my comments on my channel are held for review because some comments are literally disgusting. I wouldn't want anyone to have to see them. Very, very few. But I find it's good to be able to, because some comments are just stupid. What are you talking about? So I just don't let put that. But like I don't know if any of you've seen my B24 review, and I've said about those wheels being molded off center.
Yeah.
And the comment yesterday, just plug and drill the hole. It's called modeling.
God, yeah.
A wheel that's off center.
Yeah.
The wheel is central to the hole, but the outer of the wheel isn't.
I think that's one of the most overused responses on forums, YouTube channels, and stuff. Is like, "Oh, just do it's modeling." It's like, that's not the point. It's just like a model kit, especially a brand new one from a major manufacturer like Airfix, isn't necessarily being bought by veteran or experienced modelers. It could be being bought as like the second or third kit from somebody who's got back into modeling, or a new modeler is progressing quickly, because they feel comfortable with Airfix and they want to tackle something big as a project. So they might not have that, or might not want to. It's just like, why should they have to? It's just like you learn along the way, but it's like, don't just come from this kind of holier than thou position of like, well, it's called modeling. Do this. It's like,
no, my point
it's
was,
not your hobby to tell everybody what it is.
My point was that it was the same with my Mini Art P47 that John's just reviewed, but his is okay. But my wheels, with the P47, the actual wheel is fine. The hole in the center is off center. So that is a case of plug it and re-drill it. But I've actually got resin wheels for it. But
Oh,
with the B24, it's like the outer is the bottom mold and the front of the rib is the top mold, and they're out of register. I thought maybe it's just mine. So I looked on Airfix's own review, and theirs is the same. I looked on somebody else's review, theirs is the same. I looked on James's review, his is the same. So it's obviously a problem with the tooling. And my point was, it wasn't like, oh, this is fucking shit and Airfix should be ashamed of themselves. My point was how in the hell did this get through quality control? Because the rest of the sprue is fine. It's only the wheels that are out, and they're all out towards 2 o'clock. I don't get it. And they're like 0.3, 0.4 of a millimeter off. But the rest of it can't be the molds are out, because all of it will be out. And so you've got alignment pins on molds, and if they're 0.4 out, then they're being made in a bloody woodyard, you know. So, but
is this the Liberator we're talking about?
Yeah. But
I haven't opened mine yet.
my point was the fact that you know, in 2024, and it's the same with mini art. It's quite bad that ever got through on a £50 kit. It's quite bad, I think. And then when you look at John's review of his P47, his clear parts are awful. Now, I've heard lots of people say the clear parts on that kit are awful. Mine are bloody gorgeous.
awesome.
Yeah.
I think they're demolding them too quick and they're distorting as they cool.
I think you're right. You know, it's like one of the best experiences I've had, and Matt from Model Minutes will back me up on this. Go into Plastech where they did the Spitfire and actually see them doing it. You know, because one of the groups I was on was discussing on whether companies use mode release on their tooling. And there's a big debate about, do you really need to wash them anymore? Now,
yes, they do.
Well,
do.
I do.
I will. Well, when we were at Plastech, they said they do not use mode release on their tools
because they use a certain kind of plastic.
When they first start the tooling up, when they first get the tool in, obviously they have to.
Yeah.
But the idea is to use dry product. Is to create dry product, and the fact that why they put it directly straight in bag. As soon as they take it off the tool, they put it straight in a bag because it attracts all the crap from the air. But when you see a manufacturer produce it and it all gets pushed into a box, when they pick it up the box and then they get the bits out and then they put it all away, while it's been in that box, like static draws in every bit of crap towards that plastic.
Be very careful, Moss. What you're talking about is one company using one type of machine using one type of plastic. Now, if you watch, there's a video about Taco, and they go right through the manufacturing process, and everything you've just said, they do totally the opposite.
That's what I'm saying.
They use mold release. The sprues come out, they're stacked, they go into a great big box, and then the most boring job in the world, there's all these girls sat there with all these resealable bags, and they're actually manually sliding the bags into the sprues, and they're put into another box, and then they get boxed up into the kit box.
That's what I mean. I'm just saying on that respect. On that respect, you wouldn't need to wash down the Airfix Spitfire, the 124 scale one.
Possibly not. I wouldn't.
I still did.
I don't think it'll produce a problem if you wash it down.
Yeah.
The thing is, you also have to remember the ejector pins in the tooling, and a lot of the working parts of the tooling have to be lubricated.
Yeah.
So you often don't see a brown line around your ejector pin marks, and that's oil that's come through the tool.
That's right.
But it's always worth.
Yeah. But it's you know, I think that we're also very, because we know over the years about the quality control of Airfix, we hammer Airfix more because of that quality control, and we're quite negative. You know, I reckon 50 to 80 kits I buy, 2 of them will have a problem with them from Airfix. but that's because but I'm looking for it in Airfix. If I see a Tamiya kit, I don't really go looking for it, do I? The quality control.
No.
You know.
I don't have Airfix more than anyone else.
Yeah.
You know about negativity? There was a comment on my B24, and the guy said, "Finally, the review I've been waiting for. Come take my money."
Yeah.
So people out there, they want to listen to me.
Yeah.
So that's positivity.
So you say the wheels are out on the Liberator?
I think it's Sprue E, is it?
Sprue E.
Sprue E. Let's have a look, shall we?
Because yours are out as well, aren't they, James?
No, mine are fine.
No, yours are off.
No, I checked mine today with a vernier. They're not.
They're not.
They look off to me in the video.
Right. Sprue E. What Sprue's that? That is Sprue E. They're off. Are they off?
Let's have a look, Moss. Big screen so we can have a look.
Big screen.
That's the wrong side, Moss. You're looking at the backs.
No, sorry. I'm looking at them.
No, he's looking at them before he puts them in, yeah.
I'm gonna go big screen in a minute.
It's hard to tell, mate. They look okay, actually.
They look okay, yeah.
Oh, okay. So it is a.
Must be a manufacturing fault rather than a design error.
I think, to be honest, that the sprue has got stuck and it's distorted the wheels.
Oh, that's a good shout.
That is a good shout.
Obviously, I had the other side of the wing on my other sprue, and it had a damaged locating pin socket.
How soft are those parts when they come out of the mold? The minute they come out of the mold,
It depends on the plastic they use, because some molding is done cold.
Yeah.
Cold tool, hot plastic, and some molding is done with a hot tool. All the molding I've ever done has always been a hot tool.
Yeah.
It's purely down to the plastic they use.
Because if it's down to a hot tool, you could get a manufacturing fault when it's pulled against.
Yeah, if it hung up in the tool, it was hanging on those pins. If the ejector pins are actually those wheel centers, as it came in, the sprue might have. That's a good shout, because they are all off in the same direction. It is I might ask for another sprue then in that case.
Yeah, you could. I think they would give you one.
Oh yeah, they would. They would definitely give you one. Yeah, definitely. They
Great
would.
video then to say, look at this. Airfix have come through, and thank you very much, guys.
Yeah.
Although I've already ordered a set of resin wheels.
Oh, well,
Who's manufactured them? The resin ones.
Armory. But I wanted diamond tread pattern tires anyway, because the Airfix kit has grooved, and I'm sure it should have diamond tires. I'm sure of it.
I think they were to do with the runways they were used on.
Yeah, I think you're right.
What version is it? Is it the D variant?
It's the H.
The H variant. Yeah, I think Nigel might be right.
Well, I can't see many pictures of B24 with the groove tires. Something else that one of my viewers picked up on, it's got the plates, the armor plates molded onto the sides of the fuselage.
Yeah.
Which is correct for 8th Air Force, but one of the versions the decals are for is 15th Air Force, and they didn't have the armor plate. Now there's some stuff.
But did they also know that the B24H, a long time into the production run, they offset the gun positions?
No. Well, they moved the upper turret or something.
No, they moved the side gunners.
Yeah.
They moved.
Oh yes, somebody did say that. Yes.
Yeah.
I think it was the same on B-17. The early B-17, they weren't staggered. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, they weren't.
The B24 had a lot more room in it, didn't it?
That's why
The B24 was the crate that delivered the B-17 in.
They flew faster, higher, and carried more weight.
It was a better aircraft.
Yeah.
Far more better bomb bay.
Do you think that, can people be accurate all of the time when it comes to these gains?
Not when you're talking about the cost of that kit. I think
There's 3 schemes with that Liberator, though, isn't there? Is it 2?
No.
2
schemes.
is it
There's
40?
only 2 schemes for that one. That does surprise me.
2 comments about that kit being overpriced. I picked up a 2008 magazine. How much do you think a 1/72 scale Nimrod was in 2008?
Oh,
2008.
Was that
35
50
quid?
Hmm?
35 quid?
38.95.
There you go.
People are saying that 40 quid for that Liberator is expensive. It's not.
No, it's not.
It's a beautiful model. It really is nice.
A lot of parts.
It's beautiful, and the way love the way they've done those guns molded into the clear. Because if you look at the HobbyBots 1/32, so they can fit the guns in. They put the guns really close together. It looks pathetic. But Airfix have had the idea. That's brilliant, fantastic idea. I also noticed Spencer Pillar did a review, and at the end he had 3 kits in a box. And at the end of the review, he said, "And I'd like to thank Airfix for sending me these free samples."
Well, I never.
Andy's not got a very big channel.
No,
Let's rage against him. Get a bit of negativity going.
Rage against the machine.
I love it. But why is he getting free samples?
Maybe he's asked for them.
I don't know.
He obviously doesn't run a shop.
No. Doesn't
I've
work.
not got mine yet. I had my own bit of negativity on Friday when the Hornby rep came in.
how did he get on with you?
I said, let's go for a coffee rather than be in the shop. And we spent an hour where I bent his ear. And I said, at the beginning, I said, I appreciate this isn't you. It's the company you work for. But to be fair, he took it. And,
Yeah, but that's his job, Alex.
well, yeah, but, and he did the right thing. He said, thank you for giving the feedback. It's his customers, retail shops that actually tell him the problems that gives them an opportunity to fix it. And it's just like, yeah.
The thing is, though, he's probably the same rep that does Jadlam.
Yeah, probably is.
And buffers.
I mean, he's not going to be able to change anything.
No,
But it's a Hornby issue. But yeah, it was cathartic. But I didn't do it in an arsehole way, It's
No.
like, didn't just rag at him. It's just like tried to explain and why I've minimized Airfix stock in the shop as much as possible.
47 quid isn't bad for the Liberator. The Hasegawa one goes for around 60 quid.
Yeah, models are expensive.
Yeah, they are. Especially from that end of the world. At the moment,
Yeah.
they're very expensive.
Yeah.
You guys in the States pay a lot more, don't you, John?
I guess we can. I think different brands are different priced here, right? So, for instance, I think our Asian sourced kits they're cheaper here in the States than they are in the UK. Yeah.
But you've got Tamiya USA for that one, haven't you? Things like that. They have their own, so they have their own companies in the countries that they're dealing with. Tamiya, I'm assuming like Trumpeter and all that have an office or
Probably
warehouse
on the West Coast.
you know.
So Irvine, California is where Tamiya USA is.
Whereabouts does Amarang come from? Is Amarang an American company?
Amarang's British, isn't it?
Is it British? Because I know
Yeah,
they
it's
import
distributor
a lot
for cigar and
Far
stuff.
Eastern stuff, don't they?
Amarang's British. British import.
Craft.
They're actually part of Ripmax.
Are they?
Max still exist.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Unless the rep that came to see me about a month ago was a ghost.
I haven't seen the Ripmax name for years.
Yeah, it's still going.
Matt just said the Liberator is nearly 50 centimeters, so it's half a meter wide wingspan, 278 parts, and 2 decal schemes, which will be categorized. Yeah, I think it's 46. Was it 46.99? Isn't it on the website?
I paid 42 from Hannon's.
Yeah, You get
I
ten
paid
percent
33 quid from Airfix.
with your hobby points.
Yeah.
No, hobby points, yeah. £13 worth of hobby points.
What I'm waiting for is for someone to compare, like the B24 with the Revell Lancaster. They're both about the same size, and the Lancaster's only £23. Yeah,
Mm.
like that's comparing that to a pint of lager, you know.
Yeah. What's the worst that could happen? Hey,
It's
Nige?
I had an issue constructing the Revell Lancaster with a rear tail gunner.
Why do you get it from Hansen for that price then, Nigel? You get your 10%. Why don't you just join the Airfix club and get your hobby points as well
Right.
on top of that, Nige?
Because generally you find that Airfix have their pre-orders at maximum price, and yet other shops give you discount.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if you're an Airfix club member, you get your 10% straight away. So
Yeah, but I get more than 10%.
You have to pay £35 for that as well, Moss. So,
Yeah.
but I get a kit and all the magazines and everything that goes with it.
kits that you might not want, magazines that some people don't see value in. So
I don't know. I was quite shocked. Yeah, I was quite shocked that they did their own market research, and the people, they don't get many complaints about the kit that they get given.
well, that's because the people that is okay. That just one thing. That is the worst market research ever if they've done that, because they're capturing the people that have the kit, right?
But then you say that you pay 35.
That's the ones that they bought for, because it's up front, isn't it?
Yeah, I know that. I get that, but and the magazines are quite good. Listen, I like being part of the Airfix club, so I pay me £35. I get me 10% off. I get me Hornby points as well, which does really rack up over time. Before I knew it, I had about 9,000 points.
Yeah, but you have to spend them at the Airfix shop. You have to spend them on Airfix products. If you buy from anywhere else at 10% cheaper the prices, you can buy whatever you like.
Yeah, but you still get what I'm saying. Those Hornby points are another 10% on top, basically.
But I can't buy ICM kits or Hasegawa or Tamiya kits with those.
That's fine, but that's why you're part. Yeah, that's it. But that's brand loyalty, isn't it?
When did you get yours, James?
Thursday.
I got mine on Saturday, so I paid 2 days.
Did you pay postage on top of that as well, Nige?
No, because I bought 2 kits.
Okay.
Oh. There's like a threshold that if you spend so much money, they throw in the shipping. Okay.
But no,
Hannah's very good to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Enough said. Okay.
Paul Smith's right though. Yeah, they have got distribution issues at the moment, the pre-orders and stuff. Because mine
from Jadlam, weren't you?
I on some of the kits, I didn't get it, and I was like, I pre-ordered this, I was really angry at the time. I'll tell you what it was. It was that hovercraft.
Yeah, the SR.
I was absolutely fuming. Because as soon as I got the email, bang, I had ordered it. Didn't hear nothing for 2 days, so I then went on Jadlam, bought it from them, got it next day.
I still don't have my hovercraft.
Yeah.
They've been ordered for months. I literally forgot I ordered them.
Yeah.
They turned
Have
up
you
on
tried drawing a pentagram in the shop?
Yeah, you should
At least some of those spirits you got
local dark art to
But that's it. It depends what you want to get with it. But for me, was it? I think one year my accountant came back to me and said I spent nearly £650 on Airfix product in the 12 months. So being on, and that's after the 10% discount. So you add on an extra 10% on that plus the Hornby hobby points. It would have probably been around the £730 mark, £240 mark. Pre-ordering, and also, as I said to Dale, the pre-ordering on Airfix, the nightmare is that if you're under a certain bracket, you have to pay postage. And I'm saying, look, one of these, I've pre-ordered every single thing, and there isn't an option there to expedite the shipping. I just get standard delivery. So if I pre-order, they're gonna. If I bought it on the day and then got the, paid up the £7 to get it next day, or the £5 to get it next day. So pre-ordering is the trouble is that you need pre-orders to understand what the market's doing, isn't it? Because you gauge
this is one of the things I said to my rep on Friday was
negativity.
So I ordered a bunch of Liberators for the shop.
Yeah.
It was announced. I didn't get any pre-notification. I didn't get any order notification that's coming through. I asked what my available to ship was. Took 3 times to ask before I got it. And the total doesn't come up to the minimum order value. So they won't ship it. And it's just like, I was like, Mark, this is useless to me. It's like, I might as well cancel all of those because people who bought it will have already bought it by the time I got it. So it's pointless having these.
Yeah.
So it should be like a little radio box to say, if this doesn't come up to the minimum order value, send them anyway. Charge me the shipping. There isn't that option. I can't say. Every other supplier does that, by the way. Because the speed is more important than the cost. £5 or £7 added on to an order of like 30 kits, it is not going to break the business. So, but yeah, it's
there's things, but no, as I said, there's gaps, there is issues with it, and I say I pre-order everything, comes up one big list, and they take your credit card details, and that's it. You hear no more until they release it, and then if you want it on that day, they won't, because you've not paid for the expedited shipping. So, but hopefully it will change, because I think when I've been asked what would I like most from the Airfix Club, I said I want priority on getting the kit. If I'm an Airfix Club member, I want that kit before anybody else does. I've paid for the privilege. I want that kit before everybody else does. And if they did that, I think Airfix Club would be ahead of the Airfix. People would just pay the £35 to have the option of getting that kit 2 days before anybody else.
I also think the 10% is a joke. Because if you think about it, Airfix are the manufacturer.
Yeah.
Airfix sell directly to people like Matt who have a shop. And I understand well that they give in more than 10% off. So their option is to sell to shops or sell to the public. So if you're going to entice people into the club, give them 20% off.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I get why they don't, Nigel, because, I mean, already they're pissing off a lot of retailers. Right? I mean, the Airfix shop is a big thorn in my side. Selling direct to the public in the way they do. I know other manufacturers do, but nobody does it like Airfix. Airfix really push it. And the Airfix Club is a direct, like, affront, if you like, to a lot of retailers, because it's trying to get people to buy direct from the manufacturer. And it's like, well, then don't have a distribution network.
Is
it's
this
just like,
kicked about?
So it's like, this is what I actually said to my Hornby rep on Friday. I said it because he was talking about new toolings and stuff, and I was just like, look, I would be fine if Airfix took a fallow year and did nothing, no new releases, but they just sorted their shit out. If they just got the whole Hornby stuff, all of the customer care experience to make sure it's consistent, their QC issues, all of their logistics, if they just got all of that done, that I think would be more to more people than like another kit, which will appeal to a certain segment of modelers, not to others. And some people will say it's bad, and some people will say it's good. It's just like if you improve the experience and Airfix's reputation across the board, it doesn't matter that you've not got any kits that year. You could re-release a whole bunch of stuff that hasn't been seen for a while, like the Javelin and other stuff, SR2, and just really give them the experience.
Yeah, that's true. Russell Taylor's right. You don't get off with rewards. If you left with a club member and you get the Hornby rewards,
you don't. It's the biggest marketing trick in the world.
So you get your Hornby rewards, your points,
but you only get that on money you spend already. So you have
Yeah.
a discount of stuff you've already spent to spend on future purchases. It's not a 20% off. You're committing to future purchases. It's a fantastic marketing thing because all companies would love to do this and do this with loyalty rewards and stuff because it captures you as a customer and it makes your pound more likely to be spent with them than with another company. You don't get 20% off.
It's like vacation.
That's the way that our mind is. That's what marketing
getting the value.
It's like the McDonald's coffee card, isn't it?
So,
You know,
basically,
you don't go to 4 or 5
you-
different coffee shops when you've got a McDonald's coffee
Yeah, but what I'm
card.
saying is that you're still getting value though. There's still value in that product though, isn't it? So if I
But
spend
now
100
you're talking
quid,
about value, not 20% off.
yeah,
And
yeah.
flying hours.
But
Don't get me
value
started on
still-
those.
yeah. But
Everybody,
that's
nobody
what
should
I'm saying.
redeem flying hours. Everybody should send them to Models for Heroes.
Yes.
That's the best use of
Quite
I
right.
was actually going to ask, do they still do that? Send their flying hours to Models for Heroes?
A lot of
Yeah, I
people
believe
do,
so.
yeah. A lot of
Okay.
people do. I know. I trade mine in. I pay me 35 quid. If I get a model, I get about a model a year out of the Airfix Club for free, plus minus the postage. But no, I don't know. I'm still convinced with the Airfix Club, and that's the way, you know. But that's just me. Everything that goes on, and what I get from it, it's worth my weight in gold. I get the kit, and if I wanted to, I could sell that kit on for the price of the Airfix Club. You've seen the prices of the kits. That dual is going for about 30 quid now, isn't it? On eBay. The D-Day dual kit is about 30 quid on eBay. So, but yeah, it's one of them, isn't it? You know,
So
yeah.
I just saw Rob
every company's
Sutto's
a
comment,
thing.
which was quite funny, Moss.
What's that? Sorry.
So just Rob Sutto's comment at 8:39 was quite funny.
I didn't see that. Let's go back up. Where is he? Rob Soto. Where's he to? Let's have a look.
8:39. He's only
It's a
about
debate on about negative.
Yeah, I saw that. I did say originally we've gone negative. That's what I'm saying. It's easy to be negative. Anyway, my point is this. I totally get where Alex is coming from in regards to when you're selling online and you're selling your product online against the local model shops. The same debate has been raging for 30 or 20 years about the BBC News website. Why do you think newspapers are like shitting themselves? Because the BBC News website is the #1 hit website for your news. They don't go, and there's no pop-ups or adverts on the BBC News website. It's clear form. If you want to get your latest news, you go to the BBC News website. And
I would say now, actually, a lot of those, including the BBC, are feeling the same way about YouTube. Because now things like YouTube, social media are actually reporting a lot of stuff quickly. Yeah. So if you see like the BBC, Sky News and stuff, they all have channels on YouTube because they know people are changing the way they consume their media.
But my point is that you've got the same sort of thing. You've got the local rag and the newspapers going out of business. You know, when was the last time you bought a news? Like, I didn't realize how people don't buy newspapers anymore because, as you know, I ship and sell online, and I use newspapers as void fill when I'm packing something up, blah 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 blah. Then I put newspaper around. So I put a note up on Facebook saying, if anyone's got your newspaper, let me know because I need it to pack. And one person came back and said, yeah, I've got a box of newspaper you can have. And when I spoke to the local recycle centre, they said, yeah, newspapers is nothing. Mostly it's cardboard from Amazon.
Why don't you go and see Tesco's, your local Tesco's, and ask them if you can have their returns?
They all newspapers and magazines go back to the publisher now.
Why don't you get in touch with the publisher and ask if you can have them?
Yeah, well, I could do that. I didn't think of that, but when I went to Tesco's, all those newspapers have to be picked up by a van and then sent back. Sale on return. That's what it is.
Something I do in Tesco though, Moss, is a real cool thing. You go around all the pears and the apple stands in the veg rack and nick all the bubble wrap out of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Once you really go out with a trolley full of bubble wrap, they're like,
I've gone out sometimes with 40 sheets of bubble wrap. Get some funny looks like, but it's
Yeah.
not cheap stuff to buy in the post office, places like that now.
I remember years ago, there was a like a big convention, and they asked me to go and get 60 bottles of 4-pint milks. So I went to local co-op, I think it was, picked up these 40 pint, and a woman said, "You've got a big family." I said, "Yeah, I'm Catholic." The quality control is an interesting one. Most lay people don't really understand how hard it is to ensure quality of low-cost, high-volume molding. Speaking as a quality manager of 25 years,
Yeah, he's right.
can I just say, if you care about a product, I'm sure that there's. I don't know. I think it's culture. Why do you think you never get a crap kit from Tamiya? Because the people in Japan, I think one of the most interesting lessons I've ever learned was from a Chinese man, and he said that the one thing that Chinese people can't stand is shame. This whole the elders are the elders are treated with such respect. They could be talking crap, but they respect them. They care about shame. And he told me this story about a man who was in this big meeting. He was trying to describe how shame is in Japan, and he was in this big family meeting. And one of the boys got up and started talking on his phone about buying this and selling that and making profit here. And as he was there talking, the mobile phone rang in his hand. So he was embarrassed because he was pretending to talk to somebody, and then the phone rang. And that lad was dismissed from his family. He was shamed. He walked away in shame because he got found out. And I kind of think maybe that's what it is. Maybe they've got such pride in what they do in their job.
Not being funny, Moz. Most of these Tamiya kits are now made in the Philippines.
So do they have a lot of pride then?
Yeah, but so I used to work for a Japanese company, right? And it's exactly that. They pride themselves on QC. They have the whole Tamiya, what they call the Toyota way. So methodology, Lean Six Sigma, all that came out of Japan.
Yeah.
And they were approached by the Japanese government. There's a company called Shimadzu, and it uses the Satsuma symbol. It goes back a long way.
Yeah.
And they were approached by the Chinese government, and they wanted to sell they wanted to buy total organic carbon analyzers, these water measurement things. Shimadzu asked how many, and they said, well, for the whole of this region. So it's just like, millions and millions of dollars. So right, well, we'll need to build a factory in China to do that. And the Japanese were really worried about the quality control there.
Yeah.
And so it was Chinese employees, obviously, all the best. So they went over and trained them. And after the first couple of years, obviously they reviewed the quality all the time. They were the highest performing unit of all of their production facilities. Because they instill in them from the outset all of their procedures, all of their culture, all of the feedback mechanisms and everything. So I think you're right. It is cultural at the company level.
It is. The same happened at Nissan in Sunderland.
Yeah.
They're the flagship firm for Nissan all over the world.
Yeah.
But Rolls-Royce, I mean, the 40-day engine and everything, that was all used Japanese tools for that. I'm an ex-business improvement guy at Rolls-Royce, and all the Kaizen and everything, TPM, 5S, it's all Japanese.
Yeah. And then look at the way that Leyland was run.
Oh yeah.
Well, compare a Toyota, compare a Toyota from 1980 to a British Leyland.
Just different.
Because they're all rusted to nothing.
Yeah.
And if you put a Carina next to a Montego, you can't compare them.
No.
One is 98% filler.
One's 98% 3-in-1.
Yeah, I think Stuart's made a comment there. Yes, but there's a difference between a car and a £2 molding.
Yeah.
The difference is that there is a difference, but somebody buying a molding that's only £2 are paying £40 for it. So, you expect it to be 100% quality. If you've got the kind of failure rate that I'm seeing with these Liberator wheels, it's probably something like 1,000 parts per million, which is totally and utterly unacceptable in
And it's,
industry.
I mean, it's not just this Liberator, is it? I mean, I know the whole thing is about negativity here.
I'm not here to hammer Airfix, but also my original comments were based on that was a molding issue because there's no way it could have shifted in the tooling. But I hadn't thought, if they're ejector pins and it's hanging up and the operator's pulling the part off those ejector pin marks when the plastic's still soft, that would explain why all the wheels are the same way. So my bad.
There are some companies on there in the world, even though they're building products that only cost £1, they understand the value of retaining customers.
Christ, yeah.
And some companies just don't get it.
Well, in some regards, it's more important when your margins become smaller. The differential is less. So it's like, how do you differentiate? And we're talking production costs because obviously the final products are, 10, 30, 50, £100. But it is important then. Where do you start to get the bits? And this is where we talk about, the quality of kits and all that kind of stuff. But just going back to your original point, though, Moss, about negativity in general, I think this discussion we're having here isn't the kind of negativity that we were talking about at the beginning, because we have a rationale, and this is a discussion. This is about, what's the reason behind it? What are we seeing this? Why does it happen here? The kind of negativity I think that we were first thinking about is that just unrequited, well, for want of a better word, hate. To whatever it is, whether it's I've painted my Harrier pink and I hate it, or I hate this manufacturer because what they did in 1980, or I hate your channel because of your political views, or whatever it is. It's just, there isn't a rationale behind it.
No.
It's just,
give me the option. Give me the option to discuss it and debate it with you. And that's the thing, when there's always a lot of hate for Airfix. You go online, there's a chap who I never, and I spoke to. It was on John Alex's live stream, or he had like a build, and we had a debate online, and he said, "I'll never buy Airfix again. It's crap." Blah 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 blah. You know what I mean, John? When I say this, John Alex, I'm talking to, us, PJ, and I said, "I'll tell you what. Let me send you a model kit of refit tooling. Will you build it for me? And then come back to me, send me your address. I'll send you the kit. If you need any paints for it, I'll send you the paints as well. Let me know what you think." And did he not come back and say, and I didn't even realize it was him until I was talking to him. He said, "You're the guy who got me back into Airfix." Because I think I was it a Phantom or something. I gave him like a €4 tooling kit. And he goes, "It's one of the best models I've ever built."
Nice. Yeah.
But people are still stuck with that vintage classic mindset of Airfix. And I think that was one of the most amazing things they ever did, was say, we know these toolings are old, but we know some of you still want to build them. We're going to create, and it is a separate brand of Airfix. It's separate. They don't want to put it in their red boxes. They set up a separate brand, a separate kind of company within that will remanufacture the old tooling, but they give you up-to-date decals. The only thing I do wish they would do is spend a day redoing the instructions. You know what I mean? I really wish Vintage Classics would be perfect if they didn't just stick it through a photocopier and put the new label on it. You know what I mean? And it is. It's a photocopy. It's a scan of the old. That's the only thing.
I think they could do two things with the Vintage Classics that I'd really like to see them do. And that's to go back to the Type 3 instruction sheets, which is what I'm talking about, but also to mold the kit in their original colour.
That's expensive. Colour is expensive.
No, I understand that. She used to do it in the old days.
Yeah.
But I think what you're saying there with quality, Master like Tamiya and that, the difference is Tamiya would they would run 1,000 passes, right? 1,000 or 100 passes, and they would check 100% each sprue, and they would speak to the operator or look at the robot or whatever, and there was a single snag. If it's snagged up, stop. We got to find the problem, and they would identify and address that problem there and then. And then they'd get another problem on the 80th sprue. Stop. Correct that problem, and they would have a 100%. They would want to see a CPM of at least 99.8%. They would want less than 10 parts per million failure rate.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they do.
I imagine they'll have a QDIP board in the manufacturing facility. They'll have a daily stand-up meeting every morning, going through all the stuff, making sure.
Looking at the sprue. I mean, if they identified a problem with this wheel problem with the Liberator, I'll bet Tamiya have got cameras set up looking at that sprue, and you program the camera, because I've done it. You program the camera to look at a certain area of that sprue, and if it sees the wheel off center, reject it.
Yeah.
And I'll bet that's what Tamiya do.
I think. Well, I think the other thing that Tamiya, the other advantage that Tamiya have, and you see this from other manufacturers like ICM, it's all under. They have their own manufacturing.
Yeah.
They're not sending it out halfway across an ocean. And okay, it might be in the Philippines, but it'll be a Tamiya factory in the Philippines, right? So it'll be real time. Any stuff that's caught. Well, like you were saying this, I think, Moss, with the Spitfire. The guys there, they check every. I can't remember how many it was, but however many impressions they go through, they'll stop. They'll take one off the line. They'll look at it. They'll check it. Make sure it's still okay. And they carry on. So they know that if there is a problem, it's limited to 30 sprues or whatever that incident.
Well, they've got this brilliant thing where they put the sprue in a wooden frame, and they spray it green, like really bright green. I wish Matt was on it tonight, but he's working away, so he may not get good connection. But I videoed it in my video about doing it. They put the sprue on top, and you will see the difference. You can see because there's green showing through where it's wrong.
If there's a part missing, that is, but it won't show the error in the molding. If there's a wall in the fuselage, show that.
But I get that. But that's the thing, So if the say like the prop was bent, you would see a load of green. Oh, that they get rid. Yeah. So they're constant, but they got to do that to every single sprue. It goes as soon as it comes on the machine, it goes on that green thing. Or they got 2 or 3 green thing. So then the first woman looks at it, goes over it like that. Then it passes on to the next person. They look at it. Then they take it out, cut it in half. So it goes in there and they go straight into the bag. And then it's sealed right there and then to stop any impurities getting into it. I don't think that happens in India.
See, I don't get that because there's no impurities on my Liberator, no impurities on any of my Tamiya kits, and there's no impurities in any of my Takom kits. And I know for a fact Takom feel just like, they just feel boxes and boxes and boxes of sprues up. There's a girl sat there manually bagging every sprue.
Well, what are they? Well, that's what you were saying. There is static that pulls in the dirt. But I remember when I had that Concorde, it looked like it, that vintage classic Concorde. It looked like it had been kicked around the floor because it was scratched, dirty. It was on the video. Scratched, dirty, like they just picked up from the floor.
Well, you had that with the car, didn't you? With this big scratch on it. What was that?
Yeah.
That was a taxi, wasn't it?
That was the taxi.
Yeah.
That was the taxi. Yeah. But then again, I've heard on the grapevine that the plastic that they use in England is food grade ABS, whereas in India they're using an inferior ABS plastic.
Yeah.
So when all the kits that I have had that I know that have been made in the UK, because I can ask the chap, he would say, and all the latest ones, and all these parts will be put in a bag, so they'll be scrapped, moving around. The newer plastic in the quick builds scratches way too easily than the food graded ABS that's used in the UK manufacturing of these quick builds. There's no denying it.
They're probably using ABS in the snap together kits.
That's what I mean. I'm talking about quick builds.
Yeah, we're not talking about injection molded
No, the taxi.
Yes.
Yeah, we're talking about the taxi here. That was a quick build taxi.
Yeah.
And it came, and it looked like it. You know, the scratching all over it, and I understand why it had scratch, because it was in the bag, being rattled around. You know, I picked it up. You know,
Is
but
that
all the other
quick
one,
builds, is it quite brittle?
it's not brittle. It's ABS is quite a robust
Yes, it's
plastic, but food grade is harder because it's designed not to scratch, to harbour bacteria.
Because the reason why I asked that is because about 4 years ago, I built a Hamden, an Airfix Hamden, which was modelled and built in India, and the plastic was so brittle. You had to really be careful how you glued it together, how you put it all together.
You don't glue it. This is the one.
I'm talking about an injection molded kit. Yeah.
Look at that roof.
It's horrendous, isn't it?
Absolutely. And you know what, right? And I've got. It's a shame because I've had so many quick builds. I've given them away, you know, to
What
kids.
about the London bus? Was
London bus.
You still got the London bus.
Yeah, that
That's
was
nice.
nice big dints out of it and stuff around the edge. You know,
it's not. It's packaging is the issue there.
No, it's not packaging, Nigel. If they use food grade ABS plastic like the original quick builds were, it doesn't scratch.
Yeah, but you can't put a load of clear parts in a bag with a load of other bricks and expect it not to scratch.
I promise you, mate. All the quick builds that I've had before they were manufactured in India had very little scratches in. The new stuff, this new plastic, scratches with your nail. You can get your nail, and you know, and that's the difference. That's what I'm trying to get at. So when they moved over this one here, scratched, the glass was scratched. You know, it was a big, you know. But I wish I had them, but I gave them away because I had so many. I think this wasn't. I think this one here was. I think this one is an English one. I think this one, and there's no scratches really on the plastic. It came really well, but that's just my
separate.
Yeah, I get that, but but I'm not talking about the glass. I'm talking about just the normal plastic was getting scratched. So, and that's what I was told that the when it was produced in the UK, they used food grade ABS, so it's a tougher plastic than the inferior stuff that's used in India.
Right.
What I'm made of. But yeah, you know, yeah. Monument's made the point. Yeah, Lego is food grade ABS as well.
Yeah.
Food grade. It's got to be food grade.
Are you sure it's ABS?
I'm sure it's ABS.
It is.
ABS.
I don't think Lego is because.
No, it is.
Yeah. Food grade ABS.
It's on the Lego website even.
Yeah. No, the only complaints you
because kids eat them, right?
The only complaints you have with Lego are about scratched clear parts because they put them in the bag with the normal Lego parts.
I know a lot about Lego. Look.
Yeah.
Well, colour, that's all wrong. I can tell you for a start, Nigel.
It's absolutely perfect. You're wrong. It's got a nice hole there in the right place as well. There we go.
There's a few rivets in the wrong place on that one.
Here you go. What's that say? Tamiya seems to manage it. This is quite interesting. Tamiya seem to manage it, but aircraft can't. Airfix can't. The reason is that they do not want to, and that is why I would pay for the 124 Spitfire, but I would not pay 84 quid for the 148 Buccaneer. Simple.
100%.
Yeah.
That Buccaneer is overpriced.
No, what I'm trying to get at is, when John, what I'm trying to get at is that when they use the old, when the quick builds or Lego come, it comes in a clear bag, right? When it was made in the UK, scratches were very minimal or none. And then that time I got the bus, when it turned up, it's all scratched, and I never experienced that with the other models. As I said, I feel a bit of a dick for saying it because all the older kits I've actually given away to family to play with now because I build them then I give the kits away. But yeah, the ones that are made in the UK, original one, I think still some are still made in the UK.
Aren't they?
Was a better plastic than the stuff that the India manufacturers are using. That's the argument. And
It's
of
like
course,
kits, aren't they? They're very hard and very shiny.
yeah,
As when you look at the likes of the old Airfix, they're very, very soft, like bloody blue tack, and very grainy.
Yeah.
It's really funny both ends of the scale, and yet people like Boardmodel have got it absolutely spot on, perfect.
Did you ever get any Matchbox kits, Nigel?
Yes, they were glossy, weren't they?
Did you ever find any of them damaged? Ever? Because I never.
I've still got the Victor here now.
yeah.
And that's it. It's all rattling around, and it's absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
It's probably 30 years old.
Quality control. I think it's all the same. We can talk about Revell's quality control if you like.
The beauty is with Revell is their customer service is second to none.
Yeah, I
They're
agree.
absolutely spot on, 100%.
To be fair, I don't think I've actually had a QC issue with the Revell kit. I might have had some issues with the actual kit itself.
Yeah.
What a 1/32 scale F18 Hornet from Revell.
That must be massive.
I can do better than that. I
It's
had
absolute total and utter shit.
not a terrible kit.
It tells you in the instructions how to cut the flash off.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is absolute.
It's got flash molded into the turbines, and the instructions tell you to cut the flash.
Oh, sorry.
And the kit's,
That's a feature.
Around the exhaust rings, mine were so badly shrunk because they're so thick. I asked them for some replacements, and sure enough, they sent me some replacements, but they're worse.
Yeah. Kev, you don't end up in hospital with that Hornet.
Yeah. I also had a Ford GT, and the tires looked like a 12-year-old had cut the sprue out of them with a penknife. And I said to them, like, why don't you just leave the sprue in there for the modeler to remove? And he sent me another set, and I think I can make 4 good ones out of the 8 or 12 I've got.
Yeah.
I had a 32nd scale bow fighter, Nigel, which was second hand. It must have been 20-year-old. And the transfers on it were unusable. I rung up Revell, and they sent me a replacement transfer set in a week.
They are brilliant.
Didn't even charge me for them.
They're the best company I've ever dealt with, not just modeling, Barnett. They're brilliant. No questions asked. I got a 32nd scale Heinkel 111, and I spilt extra thin on it, on the wing.
Lovely.
I said, can I buy a new pair of wings? Buy? We'll send them to you.
They will send them to you. Yeah.
So, have any of you got quite so quality? So, yeah, I get that. See, for me, I laugh because I've always had really, really good customer service from Airfix, and I think it's getting better.
I've had good service from Airfix in the past.
Yeah.
Apart from that one issue I had with the Churchill tank, where they wanted me to send photograph evidence as to the sprue damage.
I've had that same thing. I've had variable. It depends on who you get, because it's Hornby. You know, we've had this discussion before, Moss, that it's if you get somebody who's used to dealing with the Airfix stuff, you'll get a good experience. If you don't, maybe not so much.
It's like the bomb bug, wasn't it? That day when we were there at the Sea King, and I said to Dale, and I said, "Oh, I need to get a new part because the back end, or the glass in the kit, it was badly loaded." And so I rang a guy, I emailed them while I was there on the day, and he goes, "Are you a business?" You know what I mean? Like, no, I'm just. And they sent out for me free of charge. I remember that they did have a huge issue with starter set paints, and they were replacing them free of charge. Any issue, they were replacing them free of charge. The video on it as well. Within 2 days, 3 days. To be fair, I said I've never had much problem, apart from somebody not understanding what I was wanting. So I, you know, and I think they're aiming for customer service. You know, there's only so much a company can do over time, isn't it? You've just got to let them what they're doing move through. You know. But like I said, talk about negativity. I put a video out about the Tamiya catalogue, and the comments made were mostly it's the same tool, same kits for the past 30 years. They've not updated. If you actually look at Tamiya, what have they updated in the last 30 years? That's the negative comments.
We said that at the beginning of the year. We said that at the beginning of the year on Airfix and Chip only.
I think
they released one new kit, didn't they, this year, Tamiya?
The 148th, because James does them.
Yeah.
They've been putting out these 148th armor stuff that can go, you know, with dioramas and stuff.
Yeah.
And they've put out some relatively new car kits, new car toolings that are just absolutely phenomenal. So, but
I can't believe they haven't done a Toyota GR Yaris.
James, your experience with their 148th kits, have they been universally positive or mostly positive or what? Because I know you go
they have had fit issues.
Okay.
A lot of their armor kits have quirks in going together. Obviously, I had a very difficult, some real problems. Obviously, they have a die cast. A lot of the armor has a lot of die cast hulls, lower hull, and that they can cause problems with plastic parts on it.
Interesting.
But they haven't. Where Airfix are updating old tools with new tools, new accurate. Tamiya aren't doing that, are they? The Tamiya
is regime of releasing all their old kits, aren't they? They re-release, and they're still really. I mean, who would believe that that 6-wheel turret is like 40 odd years old?
Well, the Walker Bulldog guy built, Nigel. It's a cracking kit. It's a really good kit.
Yeah.
But it's inaccurate.
So the thing is with Tamiya, people say, "Oh, they haven't done anything." They've released 324 new tools in the past 24 years.
Have they really?
Yeah.
Now it might not be stuff that we do. I think there's 36 aircraft in that, for instance. Mostly vehicles, a lot of cars. They do figures. They do 48 scale and 35th scale of the same subject sometimes. You know, like the Matilda, for instance.
Yeah.
You know, they do some weird, like Gundam type vehicle things as well. You know,
and they correct their mistakes with the gallery kits.
Yeah. And you also have to remember that the styrene side of Tamiya is only about 20% of their business.
Yeah.
They make a lot more money and apparently something like 80% of their total overall income comes from Japan.
Yeah.
But when you actually dig down into it, it's just subjects maybe that, because they do cover such a broad range of stuff, you know, it might just not be on that person's radar, you know. And they do tend to keep stuff in their catalogue. They don't do a lot of cycling like Revell and Airfix do, you know.
No. What I love about Tamiya, like I said this before, you get that Panther that you see in Hobby Boss. Like 5 years ago, that kit was $17.99, and now it's $19.99.
Yeah.
Revell will release a kit for $14.99 and then re-release it 3 years later for $29.99.
Yeah.
Or they just released the Eurofighter for $99 for 100 quid.
You get a book in it, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's buying that Revell Lost to Meet You when it comes out then for £150, whatever it is?
I don't think that's going to see that's not going to see the light of day, is it? That Meteor. That's because that must be
if it costs that much.
No, it is. Are you going to get a couple for your shop? Are you then, Alex?
Yeah, I thought about just filling a whole rack.
I mean, if Airfix re-released a 24 scale Mosquito, surely that would be more money than the Revell 32nd scale Meteor. But it isn't, is it?
I think that £150 price on that Revell Meteor is a joke.
Yeah.
Just a
Gotta
joke.
be.
I mean, like sometimes Hannons do it. They'll have a 72nd scale Spitfire, and they put a price of $99.99 just to have a price.
Yeah. Gary Hunt, I'm not 100% Airfix customer service actually know what they actually manufacture. Replaced in a 1/72nd scale, Swift clear parts, told they can't supply them as it's an old kit, and they've just re-released it again. Yeah. You know, it's like with most things. If you contact the company, you don't get the answer that you want. You put the phone down and you ring up again. I do that with BT and Sky all the time. You know what I mean? I got Sky for free for 6 months.
I requested a sprue for a kit that's no longer made, and they said, sorry, we don't supply sprues for kits that are no longer made. And then about a year later, I thought I'd just try it again. It's still not made. And they said, yeah, you can have that for 13 quid with postage.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not consistent, is it? Yeah.
No.
I was after a part for an AEC Matador and 5.5-inch gun. And admittedly, the serial number on it was probably 25 years old. And Airfix said, I'm sorry, it's not in production anymore. And I said, well, why is it a vintage classic then? Because it was released as a vintage classic that year. These people don't always know their product.
No.
Like I said,
That kind of annoys. Talk about negativity. That really annoys me these days in shops. Like years ago, if you had a problem in your bathroom, you go to the plumbers and you say the toilet's doing this. You need one of these, mate. Feel like that. You do this. Now it's like, have you got a part number?
Yeah, that's right.
What's your postcode, please, sir? Hi, my name's Brenda.
Was it these days?
When was the last time you got into a taxi and the driver said, you got a postcode?
Well, Ubers usually have to have it beforehand, so, you know.
That's right,
I just like, but then again, it was like when you'd ring up customer service for like electronics and stuff. The customer service would basically just say to you RTFM in every single RTFM. Read the manual, but that's one thing that it's. But we're not trying to be negative here. We're just trying to be negative. We're trying to
you break it up, Moss.
We're having debate. We're having debate. That's what we're having is debate. But it's customer service will always be. I don't have any problem with that.
Has anybody ever had a comment on a video from somebody about the production of the video, and it's from someone who's never put anything up?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That drives me bananas.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Usually, I think Tam gets these a lot about background music.
Yeah.
About background, I didn't like the background. Basically, it boils down to I didn't like the style, volume, whatever the background music. And it's just like, there's this little thing called a volume control, or you can mute it and then put subtitles on, or just don't watch that video. Something else.
I remember the first comment I ever got from Moss. Right, I don't know if you remember. Do you remember when I did the Airfix company overview video?
Yes.
And somebody gave me a comment, and it was, "Oh my God, all you've done is filmed it with your phone in front of the screen." And it was true, because I was still quite fresh into YouTube creating, and I didn't really understand how to do stuff. And Moss put a comment up and said, "What are you on about? The bloke's written the dialogue. It's an hour's worth of dialogue. Give him a break." And that was the first time you ever commented on any video I ever made, and you were back on the side. Thanks for that, mate.
No, that was it. It was. Yeah, I get, see, for me personally, audio first, visual second.
Yeah.
If you don't get the audio right, you lose them.
Yeah.
I did the Tamiya catalogue this week, so I do it every year. And I did have to say at the beginning, if you don't like the music, just turn the volume down.
Yeah.
And they say, "Oh, you're flicking the pages too fast."
Well,
I'm trying to keep the video about 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
There's nothing stopping you clicking that. It's in 4K.
Yeah.
If you press pause It's clear as day. Blow it
Well,
up on the biggest screen you can find.
All you've got to do is left-hand click your mouse if you want to read that page longer. It's not hard.
And you'll see the ghost as well.
You see the
I think
ghost.
some of the most amusing comments that I've had it probably 3 times, I think, in the life of the channel, are where somebody says, "Oh my God, the quality of this video is terrible. What did you film it in 360?" And it's just like, inevitably, because I always film in 1080, 1080p. Haven't got to 4K yet. One day maybe. But inevitably, I'll say, "Have you got it switched to auto on your quality settings?" You can manually put it to 1080p because this was in 1080p, and then silence afterwards as the quickest chip they realise.
That's one thing that YouTube mustn't start doing. Apparently, if they are looking, well, they do it already. If you're a premium subscriber, you can have 4K. You can watch everything in 4K. And now at the moment it's 1080, but there is calls that are saying unless you are a YouTube premium user, you'll be watching everything in 720.
Really? That would be bad.
That's the tragedy. I pay up. I think when we do Airfix and Chill, we do it 1080p. So hopefully everybody can see it 1080p.
Yeah.
I know 720 is fine. On a smaller screen, but as soon as you start blowing it up, it gets a little bit more pixelated.
Lose the definition.
It's said about blowing things up, Moz.
What's that?
The less said about blowing things up, Moz, isn't it? Think about it on your Jerry Anderson.
Oh yeah, no, I did it that quick. Could you remember that as a subscriber only? I tell you, I edited that bit out. Don't know what I said there. That just came out. That did.
What did you say, boss?
What did you say?
Jerry Anderson kit, and I said, "This is this has come from the brain of Jerry Adams."
Jerry Adams.
Luckily, James Power saw it on the video, and before I put it out there for everyone, I always try and do the members get first look at the video.
Yeah.
Only about 20 or 30 people watch it then anyway. But luckily, James picked up on it. So I was saying Jerry Anderson, I said Jerry Adams. I watch that video 7 times. I watch the videos over and over again, to make sure I get things right, edit little things in. And I just totally missed that. But, James there with
well, they're both good at explosions, aren't they? So
and got that one, that was good. But the idea is, but we put all the effort. So I don't like all my videos are 1080. I put the catalogs at 4K because I feel that if you have got 4K, it's better. It's a lot more, seen. You can see it better on bigger screen. But if YouTube do drop the 1080 to 720, that will be. But the other day I was watching some, I thought this is a bit crap. And YouTube had it on auto, but it was showing at 360 or you're like, hang on a minute, or 144. That's the one. So then I went into auto and then put it up to the highest it will go. It was 720 this video, and it was a lot better. I think sometimes because YouTube's so big now that to save on bandwidth, it stops it. A lot of videos go into that 10. You have to manually do it so that
I can 4K, but I could get like an hour on my camera memory.
Yeah.
If I do it 4K, I get about 20 minutes. And it takes about 3 hours to upload a 20-minute video, doesn't it?
4K is 4 times. 4K is 4 times the other day on iMovie, I've got ProRes. So my Tamiya catalog was 4 GB. If I did it at ProRes, it'll be 32 GB in size. So there's not 4K, that's 8K, that's 8K.
Have you not got a format converter?
You can't do that with YouTube, mate.
You can.
No. You've got
No. You get your format converter and you put your original video into it so that it spouts it out. I think it's 152 ms, and then it goes straight into YouTube. Quick as lightning. The last video I did was a company overview video, and it uploaded in about 4.5 minutes, and it was 15, nearly 20 minutes long. The video.
Yeah. If I made that video any shorter, people could play in the build, which was that matters it.
Yeah.
I had a guy complain on the B17 build that was 45 minutes was a lecture. If only there was a way to know how long the video is before you click on it. Yeah, exactly. It tells you how long the video is going to be.
Yeah, it does.
I've watched Alex's, I've watched your videos, Nigel. I'm not going to lie, I whack it up to 1.5 sometimes in speed.
Makes no difference with Nigel.
Sully's I do at 1.5.
Yeah, but it's the format.
It makes no difference with you,
the
Nigel.
actual language. The video
you still squeak, don't you? When you talk excited at the video, so you could do it at the speed, and it's like brilliant.
Yeah.
No, I've often
and
people say, "Don't, please don't." So
yeah,
but that goes to the negativity part, doesn't it? It's just like people have actually taken the time to, well, for one, maybe click dislike. You know, I think I've disliked maybe a dozen videos in my entire life, and they're things that are like truly offensive. You know. Because otherwise, if I watch something, I don't really like it, or I don't agree with the guy, I just stop watching.
Right.
You know? But these people have taken the time to either dislike or write a comment without either checking their resolution, without like looking how long the video is, without, it's just a reaction. And that's, I think, a common thread that you find with these people. And I think that's one commonality that you have with people who do this to new modelers when they, like go back to your original comment, Moss, about somebody puts a thing saying, I built Spitfire. Their immediate thought, they immediately go to that like, oh, well, not made a very good job of that, or the canopy's not very good, or, the fits there and stuff. Rather than like where I think the great majority of people are just like, especially with a newer or a younger modeler, is you're encouraging, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, that's great. How long did it take you? Even if you think it's a horrible model, because it's a kid's first model, it looks terrible. That's irrelevant. It's like, how does it look compared to your first model? Probably a hell of a lot better, I would say, than my first model. And it's just like, you've got to put it in context, and you want to support that person. You want to have them more models, be part of the community. They could go on to be a Plasma or a Night Watch, But that's just that gets me this kind of instant negative reaction, and it is just like, it comes from a place I can't understand.
I think YouTube dropped the bollock by removing the count on dislikes on videos, because I have no judgment then on how good that video is. There's been times I put a video on and I've looked, this is before they got rid of the dislike counter. So you would see a video, say for instance, how do I do this on something? And you'd look and they would have like 20 likes and 70 dislikes. So not to bother with that video, because you're not going to get the knowledge that you need from that video. Right. What they should have done, I think, was call them out. If you dislike that video, let the people know that you've disliked that video. Yeah. So you do on YouTube, on Facebook. If somebody likes or laughs or smiles or gives you a heart or cuddle on a post, you can go over and it will tell you who's liked it, who's laughed at it, who's angry at it, That's what YouTube should have done. The amount of crap now on YouTube, clickbait is king, because people see the thumbnail of a pair of tits or something, and then they go and watch it. Even though it may have 1 million views. The only judgment now you say it's got 1 million views but only 1,000 likes. That it's clickbait. That's the only difference now. They should not have got rid of, but I think they should have been called out. If somebody disliked my video, I should be then told. But use the likes and the dislikes, because sometimes I know that I didn't get a dislike because my video was crap. They did a dislike because of the subject matter that I was doing. If you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the JS3. You know, it's got, you know, it had 30 dislikes within the first 2 hours. But I know that there were people that, it was just the start of the Ukrainian war. So anything that was anything that had mentioned Stalin or Russia or Soviet Union got the dislike. But I left the video up here. I got quite a few negative comments about it saying, "Oh, you can't do this. It's Russian, blah blah blah." That's fine. But that's where they've gone wrong. Instead of just saying, oh, "We're not going to show people your dislikes," we're going to get. No, you should have called people out. You could give us a reason. You know, put your name to that dislike. That's what they should have done.
I could say 95% of my videos have got 3 dislikes.
Yeah.
The remaining 5% are shared between 1 and 5. Generally, I get 1 dislike within the first 30 seconds of putting the video out.
Yeah, me too. Sometimes even before it's premiered. It's like my own little troll.
Yeah, they're just trolls.
Troll bridge.
Yeah.
They don't realise how they.
But it helps you. It just feeds the algorithm. Whether it's
Shh, don't tell them, John.
Yeah.
I don't want to go away.
Oh right, yeah.
The other thing, talking about what Alex was saying before Moss just said his last piece, the bit I find amazing is there's also 2 types of people. I'll show somebody that how I'm using Tamiya extra thin to glue a clear window in the side of a fuselage, and you'll get one person who'll comment, "I've never used Tamiya extra thin. I always thought it fogged the clear parts." So you can reply, "No, it doesn't fog at all. That's super glue you're thinking of." And then someone else will comment, "You should never use Tamiya extra thin to glue your clear parts because it makes the plastic go frosty." Oh, does it? So how is it I've just done it in a video, showed you how to do it, and it doesn't go frosty, and you're telling me it's going to make it go frosty?
Because
you can't use demonstrable facts over their opinion.
Probably because he hasn't watched the whole video, Nigel. A lot of people view 10 minutes of my videos and then they tell me it's crap because they haven't really seen the point.
Yeah. The other one
it's true, isn't it? You know, if you don't watch the whole video, why did they think we make the whole video? Why don't we just make the first 10 minutes and say, "Oh, you don't need to watch the rest of it because it's crap."
The other one
video because there's a point to it.
Is when, like, I'm doing the B17s and I've done both of them in the nose area is green. You shouldn't do that green. Every B17 is never painted green. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, I think you'll find it. No, and they've referenced me books that say it's always aluminium. Any area in B17 is always aluminium. Never painted green. Never painted green. No. So I showed them a picture in a video of a wartime image from 1943 of the nose of a B17 painted green. And not one single person comes back and says, "Actually, sorry, Nigel, you are right."
Right. No, because they shut up.
Yeah.
I had the same issue over a P63 King Cobra I built, where I painted the interior yellow.
Yes.
Right. Now, I had 4 or 5 comments come back and they said, no, it should have been matte black or M28 green. It shouldn't have been yellow. And I just posted back to his email address the photograph I copied. And the inside of that aircraft was yellow.
Yeah.
I never got anything back off him.
I was amazed.
No, they're not interested in.
They're not interested in improved wrong. They're interested in
the truth. They're just interested in making themselves look better than you.
Yeah.
It's a sort of form of self-promotion that, like, it's like a parasitic organism. You know, it only survives on the detriment of others. You know, it's not there to better anything.
The correct way to comment on that video to John is, I always thought the interiors of a P36 was green.
Yeah.
Can you tell me where you got your reference to show it was yellow? That's the correct way to approach that.
Right.
And then John can say, "Well, I got it out of this cartoon book." Oh, yeah, right, okay.
Got it out of the viz.
I saw restored one at Hendon. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, when people correct people, the vast majority of the people that will comment on stuff that I've gotten wrong or something like that, they've been very kind about it, and they'll.
Yeah, sometimes they are. Yeah.
You know, hey, yeah. I don't suffer fools or trolls at all. If somebody leaves me a comment that's that, I do not respond. I don't do anything. I just immediately hide them from, because I just don't need people like that, right?
Right.
I don't respond.
I think it's because your voice is instantly disarming, John. So nobody can be mad at you if you just reply to them and just like all the hate just drains away.
Oh, me and John Alex were talking about that last week.
I have
I missed that.
Steve Stuff just said, I have never seen any vintage photographs in colour or even restored aircraft showing a B-17 with any other colour than green. Smiley face.
Yeah, Steve, I don't know if you're taking a mick there or not, but it doesn't show it as green. But what I'm saying is it's clearly not bare aluminium.
No.
You know, it would have been bare aluminium or green. It probably wouldn't have been black, but it certainly looks like green. It's a black and white water photograph. So,
but I think the flip side of the coin, the bad side, if you like, is not for us, right? Because we're all leather-skinned creators that have learned to live with it in whatever way we deal with it. You know, like John Alec, you don't engage them. I always engage them because I kind of like troll baiting, and I know it feeds the algorithm. So, and I'm always reasonable. Well, at least from what I think. Maria is also like, oh, I wouldn't answer it like that. And it's like, no, but I know he'll either be a reasonable person or he'll be a goaded troll and go off on all this other stuff. And that's quite fun, right? Maybe that's wrong. I don't know. But it to me, the bad thing is if it's not one of us, you know, if it is the new modeler at a show, the first time somebody's put something into a competition, maybe, or you know, something like that, and they get negative feedback that stops them then doing that again. That's the people I feel for. And I think that, you know, if anybody's experienced that in the chat, you know, and it's made you take that step back and think, maybe I shouldn't be doing this as a hobby. Maybe I'm too old, or maybe my eyesight's gone, or maybe I'm just not good at this and stuff. That's not what this hobby is about at all. The hobby is about you. It's about what you want to do, and sod anybody else that tells you anything else.
Yeah,
It's your canvas.
You know,
Luke said something on last week's stream that I think is very apt about what you've just said, Alex, because he said it doesn't matter what you build, how you build it, how good it is. If you're satisfied with it, you're doing it right.
Yeah, he did. He nailed it there.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I was making a video on Instagram yesterday. I've only just recently joined Instagram, and it was a 800 horsepower GR Yaris on a rolling road. And they went around and they showed on the rolling road the graph and everything, and it was 690 something horsepower. And the amount of hate! I thought YouTube was bad. Instagram is totally and utterly disgusting. The crap that was being thrown at him. You know, 690 horsepower at the wheels is 800 horsepower. Yeah, you know, oh, they were at the absolute shit that this guy's getting thrown at him. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's a 1.6 3-cylinder engine putting out 690 horsepower at the wheels. Be like, you know, fair play, mate. That's absolutely amazing. Not you said 800. It's like really rude as well. It's just,
I don't understand. Yeah.
As I said, it's like all social media. It's keyboard warriors. You sat behind the keyboard warriors. You know, they're in their underpants with the yellow stain at the front and the brown stain at the back, and they think, "What am I going to do tonight? I'm in a shitto here, drinking my can of Coors Light, wondering who the fucking have a rumble with." Do you know what I mean?
Be drinking their special brew.
The Skitter Squad.
Or their White Lightning. They're White Lightning normally.
Can of special brew with their giraffe onesie on.
I've got a bit of respect for what Elon Musk has done with Twitter. I don't get half the shit coming through Twitter anymore. I paid up, so I'm a subscriber. You know, I pay up for membership on Twitter now. So Mark Zuckerberg in his Facebook and Instagram, they decided to bring out something similar called Threads, and I thought this is, so I signed up to it. Airfix have signed up to it as well, so I was following them. But 90% of the posts are middle-aged women who have decided that they didn't make enough money selling Tupperware and Avon. They're going to sell their fanny online with OnlyFans. That is what I'm getting at the moment. I get the women doing, suggestive dancing all the time on Threads. Would you bet me? And I'm getting all this on Threads now, and all because I'm a scale modeler, and they've used that term model and everything that comes through on. And I'll tell you, I'm not subscribed to any of these. Just that it comes through all the time, and it's women trying to sell me their OnlyFans pages. That's all it is on Threads. But I don't get none of that on Twitter. I get none of that at all on Twitter. So, sorry.
No.
You've just sold Threads to me, Moz. I'm not.
Yeah. Where's my quote?
Yeah. You know what,
If
right?
you're trying to find out information about a model company that's not usually, it's not very well known, have you ever seen how many results you get that are actually not plastic model companies, but they're
There you go.
companies?
This is
Like
Threads.
that. Yeah.
This is Threads. So that's a 46-year-old woman, and basically she's trying to advertise to me her OnlyFans. Well, this is all it is. All it is on Threads. All it is. It's
like
absolutely
Facebook
rubbish.
It's
rubbish.
So is Dale getting all that?
Facebook Reels is almost like that as well. You get random stuff of women jumping on top of a Lamborghini, breaking the window, doing a TikTok dance. It's absolutely crap. Seriously, it is. Threads is dire. All because I've got a scale model. That's all I put in is I'm scale modeler. I do scale model. Everything that comes through is crap. So I understand, there's more money in, OnlyFans. There are people who are making £80,000 a week showing off their bits on OnlyFans, but that's Threads. I can't.
Yeah.
Most of the algorithms just recommends it. It's not though. It really isn't, because all I did was sign up, put questions in, and I haven't looked at, and that's all I get on Threads. It's nothing to do with my search history at all. It's bollocks. That it's absolute crap. But on Twitter, Twitter was like that, and now it's changed. I get more decent stuff now on Twitter than I've ever got before with modeling and everything else. It's just I can't get over it.
I agree. The ads I get on X are very directive and appropriate or interesting to me.
That's it. I just find Twitter so much better, and Facebook's, they show you these adverts, and I worry about this because like the other day, for some reason I ended up with during Grand National weekend, I was bombarded with adverts for gambling. If I had an issue with gambling, you wouldn't put things like, people got addictions and stuff. You're basically feeding that addiction by advertising free bets, free this, free that.
Oh, but it's all bet safe, so it's fine.
No, it's all bet safe.
Yeah.
But that's what Threads and anything Facebook is crap.
Yeah,
Look
criminal, isn't it? So.
I'm getting recommended a lot of American Mustang enthusiasts. How the hell do they know I'm a Mustang enthusiast?
Yeah.
Your Mustang restoration or your Mustang modification?
It's not honest.
Interesting.
So Di Agostini, Nige.
Yeah, they sold your address.
Probably.
I mean, it's great because I love Mustangs and I love American guys that have Mustangs because they do some cool things to them. But how do they know?
Yeah.
Cookies.
Well, they listen. I've mentioned this before. I've got to write an article on it from a substack. About 6 years ago, I was at Facebook Messenger, right? I was talking to my cousin about buying a 4x4. He's in Scotland. I was down here, and we were talking about Range Rovers. I've not looked anywhere. We're just having a discussion about cars. And I said, I'll tell you what I fancy is one of those Grand Vitaras. I think they're really nice. I've driven one. I'd like to get one. And we were just talking away about it. He goes, oh, yeah, you can pick them up quite cheap, but make sure you get the 1.8 engine, not the 1.6. He knows his stuff. Within 20 minutes, there was an advert for Track Suzuki on my Facebook wall. I've not done any Google search on. I just said out loud on a video call on Messenger, Facebook Messenger, that I fancy those Suzuki Grand Vitaras, and it only came up in my mind then because we were talking about 4x4s.
So we're
And
going to
it's not like Zuckerberg has ever sold everybody's personal data to anybody that will give him. Oh no, wait a minute.
Alex, that's a total lie.
So it's your fault. We're all gonna get these bloody adverts for Suzuki Grand Vitaras, Moss.
If you
We're
want
all going to get now, don't you, James? We're all going to get these threads off these women that are 45-year-old.
Yeah.
if you want to have a laugh, Gary just said it in the comments. I've done this and it works. Sit with a bunch of friends in a pub, have your phone switched on the table in front of you, and have a conversation. Now ours was, I'm going to have to go and get a new garden shed next week because my garden shed's been terribly damaged by the weather lately. Yeah, I got a new garden shed. I got a metal one. What have you got, James? Oh, I got a plastic one. I love my garden shed. It's really nice. I'm out there all the time. We all got adverts for garden sheds.
Yeah.
Your phone is listening. Your phone is listening to you. It's crazy.
I wish Airfix would do me a bad cat. I keep talking about it.
Yeah, should we all let's all talk about our wishes.
I wish Tamiya would do a GI Yaris.
Yeah. I want one of those saved by Jerry Adams, not Jerry Anderson.
Nigel wants an AEC refueler, don't you?
Mind you, I did say that about ICM with a 148 scale Hampton, and they did that. So
Sorry?
Yeah, ICM doing a Hampton.
you've not seen my interview with Valeria from ICM, mate.
Oh, you got to check it out.
Yeah, they do a Hampton.
They saw the comment on my post, and they had a meeting. And 24 hours later, they decided they're going to do.
You've just frozen, Alex.
Hampton.
You're frozen, Alex. Say that again.
Yeah, you said they saw a comment and they just frozen.
I asked my channel because I said I was going to do the interview. Asked members and subscribers what they'd like to ask, and somebody said really like them to do 148 scale Handley Page Hampton. They were watching that.
They've done it.
And then they went away, had a meeting, well, 2 meetings within a day, and decided to do it.
Haven't they done 2 versions of it?
I emailed them about 3 months ago and asked them if they were going to do a 148 Hampton. I can show you the email.
The answer is yes.
Yeah.
I'm definitely I'm going to buy that, Alex. That looks a fantastic kit. I can't wait for that to come out.
Wow.
It'll be very narrow.
Matt's just finished building the ICM Beaufort. I'm sure it's Matt that's done it. He said it's awesome.
I'm just finishing mine. I'm doing a South African.
It might have been you that mentioned it last week on the stream.
Yeah. I just put the South African roundels on it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it must have been you then. I thought it was Matt.
I was going to do it with their paints, but then I did it with Outlaw, which is
They
2 versions of that as well, don't they? One with Grand Crew.
They asked me to get in touch with them actually when the B26 came out. They said when it comes out, get in touch again and we'll send you a sample. I haven't. I don't think I will.
I just did the unboxing before this, before Airfix and Chills.
I'm going to watch that after this.
It's really good.
Yeah, it will be. Awesome plastic as well. I love ICM's plastic.
Yeah.
Very, very similar to border model.
Is it manufactured in Ukraine, all their kits then? Is it, Alex, ICM?
Yeah.
Everything's manufactured in one building.
Yeah.
So they create the tools, they do the injection molding, they do the design, they do everything. They even make paints there.
Yeah. The only thing they don't do is put them in Revel boxes.
There's nothing wrong with that, mate.
Or Tamiya boxes, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if you see Airfix in other manufacturers' boxes soon.
Probably, yeah.
What, the belt?
Good about Airfix, their boxes are bloody awesome. I've got 4 kits here stashed up with loads of kits on top of them. The boxes are perfect.
Yeah, they're brilliant.
Revel.
Revel, hopeless.
Revel, terrible.
It's pathetic. I don't know why.
The worst boxes in the world. The thing is, they used to do top opening boxes. They've gone backwards.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
And even though they're so bloody thin.
Yeah.
Just all it takes is somebody to come in the shop a bit careless, and they'll rip the front off it, won't they, Alex?
Well, that Mandalorian Starfighter is
no.
not cheap. What is it, like 50 quid, 55 quid? It comes in a big box. It's like, this deep and stuff. But it's single ply cardboard in an end opening, and it's like bowing under its own weight. It's just they're terrible. Terrible.
There's
Then again, are they doing something better for the environment?
The Bell Victor box, Nigel. I bet that's crushed out.
Sorry?
Have you got the Matchbox Victor or the Revell one?
Both.
I bet the Revell boxing of that Matchbox kit is dreadful.
The box is terrible because it had an opening, yeah.
That's what I mean.
I always keep my Revell kits. Every one of my stashes has got Revell at the top.
Yeah. Because the kits are the same sprue inside, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Revell reboxing of the 1/32 scale ME110, that's disgraceful because, like Alex said, it's single ply cardboard, and the box is about this long, and it could be like.
It's the same with the Heinkel, isn't it? The HE111 is terrible as well.
Okay, and they open at the end.
Oh yeah, those end opening boxes are just pathetic.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The only reason I could think they do it is if they ship from wherever they're manufactured as bags of sprues in a box.
Yeah, that's what they do.
And the boxes are folded flat and put separate.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I could think they would do it.
And cost.
Yeah.
And cost
cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All this cost thing is my local pub is a harvester pub, Marston's pub.
Yeah.
The roof is falling off. There's plants growing out of the guttering. The windows in the upstairs, the frames are so rotten they're starting to become, they're like parallelograms, they're no longer even square. And they're spending money putting fucking solar panels on there. They got solar panels around windows that aren't even square anymore.
Is that pub built by Revell?
Money. And how are they going to get the windows to paint them when they have to? Because they cut surrounded in solar panels now.
Well, there you are.
It's just money, money, money all the time.
Yeah.
The other thing I'd like to say, I wish YouTube would give us the ability to block people, not just stop them commenting, stop them being able to watch the video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. And then when people do leave really horrible negative comments, you know they're not going to come back.
Yeah, but they'd probably run out of people to view, wouldn't they?
Right.
Audience of 30.
95% of every creator.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know what
I think a lot of viewers out there that just live to comment crap.
Right.
There's trollers everywhere, isn't there?
Yeah.
And I think us as creators, if we take note of what they're saying, I think it's very detrimental.
Because they're a hub, not a spoke, right? So it's not an isolated thing. They're just generally unpleasant or generally just bitching about things or whatever. And so
I think about 70% of the time, I don't think they know what they're talking about either. They're just making the point because that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
What does work well, John, if you get a negative comment and it's personal about you, or personal about something you've done, pin it. Let it show. Pin it so it's at the top, and then all your supporters will attack.
I can remember doing a video. It was very early on in my creative career on YouTube, and I can remember doing a video. And this bloke came back to me and he said, my God, that was the biggest 12 minutes waste of my entire life. And I went on his channel, and he had 2 videos up. They were both of trains coming into some station in the middle of nowhere, right? And they were both just the train arriving with the steam coming out. They were steam trains, And the videos were okay, but why was he watching my video? Obviously not interested in modelling.
Right.
The other thing that's good, if you get somebody who comments, like if I see somebody comment on my channel and they say something like, have you seen that John Alex review of this kit? It was a load of shit. I will make sure I tell you. And then you can go and subscribe to them.
Yeah, that's right.
Because they've got a subscriber account, they will see you. They will get an email. John Alex has just subscribed to you. And they're like,
That's right, yeah.
But if they've got their subscriptions public, if they've got them private, they won't.
No, they won't.
Yeah, this is the problem, you see. Is like I've got, if you go through my subscriber lists, very few have got them public now. A lot of them have got subscribers as private.
right.
So, because you're supposed to do that is keep yours private and keep your subscriber account private, but you can't do that no more. You can still keep your subscription private, but your subscribers are live. Dick Floyd Models used to keep his private, and now it's all open, isn't it? People can see what he's.
Mine was open until I hit 1,000. Because what I really liked when it was open and I was under 1,000 was I would get notified when people would sub to me, and I would always look at their channel to see if they had some content.
Yeah, I still do that.
It's great. And you would sub back, and then
I don't know.
Subscriptions are bollocks anyway. Subscriptions are bollocks. What YouTube should have done right from the very beginning, when they brought in membership, was to get rid of the subscription button and have it as a follow button, and have it set so that you got all notifications, and you had to physically go in and turn off non-notifications.
Yeah,
because that's the problem you've got now, is that if you actually look at how many people get notified and when you release any video, it's extremely small because they've changed it to this bell system. And so you've got to basically, it's a two-part journey now. You subscribe to a channel, then you've got to click the bell to be notified if you release a new video.
Yeah.
But YouTube make these decisions, and apparently it works. So, but I don't look at subscriber count as much as I used to. I look at what the views are, and I'll tell you what, this month has been absolutely shite for views. I don't know.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, Moss. There's something going on. My subscribers is going like this. It's like I'm going down 5 one day and up 37 the next.
Yeah.
And the count. I've also noticed the count going down. Like subscriber can go down because people can unsubscribe, but you can't take away views that have already been made.
Sorry.
1 day, 800 the next. That's impossible.
The worst is when you've published a video, like if you've done a premiere, which I often do, so I can chat with people during it and stuff. And then you look at the number of people that were watching, and then afterwards you look and it will say 3 views, and it's like, but there are 40 people watching, and then it's just like, and then when you go onto the main channel, it's just like 172 views. It's like I've got 3 numbers there, none of which tally up.
Yeah,
they're all from the same system.
Yeah, but there's a reason for that though, Alex, because on premieres there's no adverts, no nothing, so the premiere goes through. You'll notice that on a premiere they'll only let you see it in 720. They only then, once they've done the premiere, then it goes up to the 1080. Then you get all the good adverts and stuff. Yeah, it's a weird. You always get that difference, but then after a week, it all then consolidates into a proper number.
I still get different numbers from the channel analytics on video.
Really?
Video analytics.
Yeah, I looked at it. I've looked into that before, but because my next 8 or 9 videos I'm going to do, I'm not going to do premieres on them, because according to vidIQ, premieres aren't good. You want because it gives you that big spike. This is what they're claiming. The algorithm sees that spike because people have been notified that you're releasing a video as a premiere, and then it drops because they've all come to see that premiere, and that affects the algorithm onwards. So a lot of them now. I noticed a lot of the big channels don't do premieres anymore. The likes of what's it called? That tech program, Marcus Brownlee don't do. A lot of them don't do the premieres anymore because you get that initial hit and that's it. Nothing. It depends what you want to do. Yeah, the only glorious thing is when the premiere, you can talk to people, but I think actually if you don't have the chat, more people will be more putting in the comments, and the algorithm looks at the comments more than they do at the chat. So I'm going to do a test. The next 10 videos won't be premiered. They'll just go live, and I'll do different times and just see what happens. Because I think the premieres are destroying. You know, the algorithms changed again.
Do release them at 10 o'clock, Moss, in the evening.
10 o'clock in the evening's always been a good one for me.
Yeah, I don't do premieres anymore.
Yeah, I think premieres. It's nice to talk to people in the chat, but you can talk to them in the comments.
Hello, Zinzan.
Lord,
Is he?
Trolls.
Yeah.
And hi, Paul Price and David Barber and Craig Jukes.
And everybody else says hello.
Anyway, gents, it's 10 o'clock nearly. We're going to call it a night, and it'll be negative. But again, this is the beauty of Airfix and Chill. We set a subject, and we go off on a tangent.
Yeah.
We talked about OnlyFans tonight. It's like we do Sesame Street. And today we had the letter A, B, we talked about OnlyFans, Tupperware, and ICM.
We liberated OnlyFans.
Liberated OnlyFans. That should be we should name it that. Liberated OnlyFans. Anyways, thanks all for joining us this evening. It's been really great. I've tried to add as many of the chat as I can onto the screen. Back again next Monday. Hope everyone has a good weekend, and we'll see you then. Take care all, and bye-bye.
Cheers,
Bye.
Bye.